I thought my marriage was strong. My wife Sarah and I were together for 10 years. We lived in a nice house, had good jobs, and spent most of our time together. We cooked, watched shows, and shared everything. I believed we were happy. She was kind, smart, and always busy with work. I never worried about her. I never thought she would lie to me. But one small thing changed everything. Something so simple, I almost didn't notice it. But that one thing made me start seeing the truth. And that truth hurt more than anything I imagined. One day, I was doing laundry. I checked Sarah's jacket and found a receipt from a toy store. That was strange, because we don't have any kids. I asked her about it. She smiled and said it was a gift for someone at work. I believed her. But later, I felt something wasn't right. The way she smiled looked forced. The way she quickly changed the subject bothered me. I tried to forget about it, but the thought stayed in my head. A quiet feeling started to grow in me, that maybe she was hiding something big. In the next few weeks, I noticed more odd things. Sarah started coming home later. She said she had meetings or work dinners. She didn't want me picking her up anymore. She also used her phone more, but would put it away quickly when I came close. I didn't want to be that jealous husband, but something didn't feel right. The way she acted, the small lies, the distance between us, it was growing. I told myself maybe I was overthinking. But the truth is, I was scared. Deep down, I felt like something was seriously wrong. One Friday night, Sarah said she had dinner plans with her team. I told her to have fun. After she left, I decided to follow her. My heart was beating fast, and I felt sick doing it. But I needed to know the truth. I stayed behind her car, making sure she didn't see me. She didn't go to a restaurant. She drove far, about 40 minutes, to a quiet neighborhood I didn't know. Then she pulled into a driveway and unlocked the door with a key. That's when I realized something was very, very wrong. I parked across the street and watched. A man opened the door and smiled at her. He gave her a hug. It wasn't just friendly. It was warm and close. Then, something I never expected happened. 2 small kids ran to the door shouting, "Mommy!" Sarah picked them up and hugged them tight. My heart stopped. I couldn't move. I couldn't even think. My wife, the person I loved most, had another life, another man, 2 children, a second home. I sat there in silence, shocked, and watched as she acted like she belonged there. I stayed in the car for a long time. I watched her sit down and eat dinner with them. She helped the kids with homework and laughed like everything was normal. She looked so happy. That hurt the most. She looked more alive than I'd seen her in months. It was clear she had a real life with them. I finally drove home, but I felt numb. I couldn't cry. I couldn't sleep. I just lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. My mind was full of questions, but no answers. I didn't know what to do next. The next morning, I acted like nothing happened. I made her coffee and asked how dinner was. She lied to me again, saying the restaurant was boring. She had no idea I knew. I smiled and nodded, but inside, I was falling apart. I needed more proof before I said anything. That night, when she was asleep, I looked through her phone. I didn't want to be that person, but I had to know. What I found crushed me. Pictures of the kids, messages to the man, even her calling herself Mommy. It was all true. She had been living this second life for years. The kids were 7 and 4. She had spent birthdays and holidays with them. She told them she worked far away on some days. That's when she came back to me. She had 2 homes, 2 families, 2 lives. I felt so stupid. How could I not see it? How could she lie so easily to both of us? I was angry, heartbroken, and full of questions. I didn't sleep at all that night. I just sat in the dark, thinking about what to say and when to say it. The next day, I waited until we were both home. She was cooking like nothing was wrong. I sat down and looked at her. I said, "How was your other family last night?" She froze. The smile on her face disappeared. She slowly turned around. Her hands started to shake. "You know," she said softly. I nodded. "How long has it been going on?" I asked. 7 years, she answered. I felt like the floor beneath me disappeared. 7 years of lies. 7 years of pretending. She looked down and didn't even try to explain. She just sat in silence. Asked her why she did it. She said it started as a mistake. Then she got pregnant. She said she couldn't leave them, but she also didn't want to leave me. She said she loved both of us. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "So you lied to both of us for years?" I asked. She nodded. I asked if he knew about me. She shook her head. No. He didn't know I existed. So I was the secret. The other man. I felt sick. I didn't know who she really was anymore. She didn't cry. She didn't beg me to stay. She just sat there looking lost. She said, "I never wanted to hurt you." I laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was so unreal. "You had another family, Sarah. You lived a whole life without me," I said. I waited for her to say something, anything, that would make sense. But she didn't. Just silence. And in that silence, I got my answer. She wasn't sorry about what she did. She was just sorry that I found out. That was enough. For me, I had to leave. I packed a small bag that night. I didn't take much, just a few clothes and my wallet. I left my wedding ring on the table. I walked out without looking back. I didn't leave a note. I didn't owe her an explanation. I went to stay with a friend for a while. I cried a lot those first few nights. Everything reminded me of her, of the life I thought we had. But little by little, the pain started to fade. I was still hurting, but I wasn't broken anymore. I was starting to feel like myself again. She tried to call me a few times, but I didn't answer. What was there to say? She had made her choice. Some of our friends were shocked when they found out. They had no idea. She had hidden everything so well. It made me realize how people can wear masks every day. I started remembering little signs I ignored, the small lies, the moments that didn't add up. I just didn't want to see the truth before. Now I couldn't ignore it. I was finally seeing everything clearly, and I promised myself I'd never ignore my gut again. Months went by. I got my own place. I focused on work, picked up new hobbies, and tried to rebuild my life. I even got a dog to keep me company. One day, I saw her at the store with the kids. She didn't see me. I watched her from a distance. She looked tired, not happy. For the first time, I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel sad. I just felt nothing. And that's when I knew I had moved on. She no longer had control over my heart. I was free from her lies, finally. Looking back, I still can't believe it happened. I gave my heart to someone who was living a double life. It broke me, but it also taught me things I'll never forget. I learned how strong I really am. I learned that love should never be full of secrets. I don't regret loving her, but I do regret trusting her blindly. Life moves on, even after deep pain, and now I'm living a new life, one with honesty, peace, and self-respect. I don't need her anymore. I don't need answers. I've already found the one that matters. Myself, if you've ever been lied to or betrayed, I want to tell you, you're not alone. It hurts, I know. It feels like the world ends. But it doesn't. The sun still rises. And so will you. You'll cry. You'll be angry. But you'll grow. And one day, you'll feel strong again. Just like I did. You'll look back and realize that losing someone who lied was the best thing that ever happened to you. I discovered my wife's affair and her secret second family. But in losing her, I found myself. And that's the real ending to my story.